Hey guys, again, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to our show.
And if you love what you see, and I know you do, please rate, review, and subscribe. It would mean so much to us.
Yeah, it absolutely means the world to us, helps us get out to the wider audience, really just capture more people that we can help you with this show. Again, if you're getting value, check us out. Thank you again.
So grateful to you.
All right, so we are here. I was really excited. We are here. So yes,
we're here.
It's Monday. We've had a awesome week with the kids. A celebration with the birthday just kept going through.
Yes.
So just had a fun activity, right? So we got down to see our my brother's baby, which was a ton of fun. Kids partied like they were 2, almost 4, and 6, as we expect them to. They stayed up late because we let them play video games for the first time ever. And I can already see the all-nighters that will be in their teenage years ahead.
Oh, no.
And I took Luke out for some good old really toss-with football yesterday, which was a ton of fun. So, and I got a really good workout in.
What was your workout?
An hour of kettlebells, 15 minutes of shoulders, a 45-minute run yesterday.
Nice.
And it was all free weight exercises with shoulders, which was awesome. So lots of handstands, pike push-ups. I'm blanking on the other push-up right there. Shoulder taps. A lot of things happening there that were really dynamic just for a workout. But now we're back into it. We're back into Monday. We got a ton happening on the multifamily side. We're really pushing forward to a couple deals that are shaping up to really be dynamic. That we're closed out in raises. We are just really setting them into the finish line there, and then we have a lot of fun ahead of us for this weekend.
That was fun. I slipped in after putting all the children to bed. I slipped in and the phone call was happening. I just kind of slipped in, had my phone, and you mentioned me. I'm like, hi, I'm actually the one that's getting all the money right now.
But it's parts, right?
So
for part of repositioning a large apartment building, some of the steps you need to take is honestly tracking what's happening, right? Because you're turning a massive building around, and anything that happens today, positive or negative, you're not going to see the effect for a couple of weeks or a couple of months. So if you're not paying attention for something, say the water bill is trending high and you don't pay attention to this, and instead of catching it on the next cycle or just having anything that's detecting leaks, well, then you don't catch this 2 cycles down, maybe 6 months later. It's not like, oh, I caught it today, it can be fixed for tomorrow. Well, now you're going back where you have to find out what the problem is, right? And sometimes that's the hardest thing, identifying where the problem's coming from, fixing this, and then now it may take another 3 months to have the problem really solved, and then maybe another 3 for reflect your bill. Something seemed like a little issue here, like a water leak, could be a year-long ramification, and that's a lot of money literally going down the drain.
If you think of it and you cross that with life in general, isn't that true? Like sometimes, and you don't know it yet, but sometimes the smallest things are happening right in this minute, right in this moment. Maybe you say something, maybe you felt something and you exuded just a thoughts to the world. It's like the smallest things can have these huge ramifications, such as in real estate. That's why you want to make sure that you have your hand on the pulse of things, that you have your hand on what's happening either in the deal that you're working on or just the market in general. It's an amazing thing because, like I said, and like Jason said, it's sometimes the smallest things.
Well, that goes into labeling ourselves. So I had a talk today with an investor, and she was just talking about how she's never going to follow through. And my question to her, which seems simple, but for most of it, it's complex. And I've been at that point again was, well, are you okay with that? Because she said, I have a hard time with the follow through, but I'm successful in my own right. Okay, well, that's fine. Are you happy with not being good in the follow through, or do you want to change that? She said, well, absolutely want to change that. Well, then the next step is to stop labeling yourself as someone who can't be good with the follow through. The next step is to make the decision, the choice right now that, you know what, I am good with the follow up. And today is my decision to show myself that I can do this. And it's that step forward, right? She was looking at some of the things that she had set up 5 years ago, and she almost wanted to tear it up because she found this just randomly moving. And for that fact, when she was doing it, she said, oh, it was like this big disappointment. I was like, well, how far did you get? She's like, halfway. I was like, well, that's a major accomplishment. Sometimes we set our goals for the moon and we get the rocket ship built and we assume that's failure. But that we can now use what we want and use what we're ready for to move forward. That's why I can't give myself advice to me 20 years ago, because what I know today, I wasn't that person 20 years ago that I could be ready for that. So it probably would have just fallen on deaf ears, right? I mean, at one point I was so silly, like, oh man, out of school, I'm never going to read or have to learn anything again, which that's, if you're not learning moving forward, you're dying, right? So you look at that part here where you say to yourself, man, I learning is all I have, right? And so if I can learn from what I'm doing, and whether it's positive or negative, well, that's where my life pushes forward, right? So if Peely and I, have a great day, we can appreciate that. But when we have a moment that's not our best moments, it's us learning from that, just so it's not repeatable, right? Instead of us each really feeding in that burning moment, we say, okay, well, that happened. I can't go back and fix it, but I can correct it.
It's the thought of appreciating each moment, good and bad, because the ones that are amazing, appreciate them, celebrate them. Those that are not so much, that there are lessons, appreciate those too, and actually learn from them. So going back to the amazing person that you were talking about, and the thing is, if you label yourself like a bad thing, even a good thing, chances are you're going to be that, and you're going to continue to be that until you change that perspective. And then it gets to the point where after you get rid of that label, if it's just something that you're not good at, next step is leverage other people who are. Bring in people who can be good at that, who are good at the follow through, who are good salespeople, who are going to pick up the phone and make sure to call those 10 people that you might not have thought of. It's not even that you forgot. If you're not good at the follow through, chances are you didn't even think about it. So leverage people.
And it starts with you, right? So we so many times set our goals based on what we find that looks good out there, right? So we see it in a magazine, that's our new goal. We see something, but we haven't seen their journey. So for us, it looks good on paper, but is it really good, or just something that just looks good to us? And if we can't really build meaning behind our why, then it's a why that we're not going to accomplish, because it has no reasoning for it. It has no bearing to it, right? So it's like $1 million. I want $1 million today. But is that why? Is that do I assume that's going to make me happy? Well, because it won't. Does it assume that I get $1 million and I'll be fulfilled? Well, I won't, right? But what is it is there some underlying meaning, right? If I got that $1 million, I could help someone who's sick in my family be on a point. Well, that has meaning behind it. So if it's just assuming $1 million is the goal, and that's going to be the light switch that makes everything better for me, well, that's a lost cause, because ultimately I have to be happy with what I am and then find the improvement in my actions.
With money, you need a why. Money by itself, it's a great thing. We're not going to lie. It's a great thing. It's a great thing to have, let's say, an extra $1 million in the bank account. But is that going to, exactly, is that going to make us happy? No, but it's a vehicle for us to either give to people. How are we going to help people? How is this going to promote everything that we're thinking and promote life and love and aloha? And how can we give through that? I mean, those are the things that'll make us happy, not money, not the money. So it's been an amazing week. I mean, this is not something that we just learned this week, but it's definitely had this follow through. And definitely after the conversation that Jason had today, we were just going forth and we wanted to share this with you. And if you have any questions about it, please text us. Text us at 908-224-6876.
Yeah, we're enjoying the community over there.
Yes.
There's a lot of fun things going on. And, we were talking about the 5 things that have been implemented that we use in our day, just that can help us really build forward to success, right? Because it is about the small steps along the journey. It's not about the moon. It's not about the rocket ship. It's what's that next viable step I need to take today, because that's something you can control. If I'm looking at these big goals like money or belongings or anything, if you I want to get married, right? If that was the narrative first and I was setting that out there, like it would be such a hard thing for me to get to because I'm pushing that on every person instead of just finding happiness with the moment, right? Like, so imagine, I don't know, anything, like you want kids, like, okay, you get with that person and ultimately like you're putting that pressure upon the person instead of letting things happen. Or I want to be in shape and I'm putting so much pressure on myself that by tomorrow I'm not in shape or I'm not this or that. We have to give ourselves reasonable, actionable steps that can be accomplished, that can push us forward. And we talked about just how little things don't seem like a lot today, but can really change its trajectory, right? So there was a study done where they had 3 people, and one basically just had 3% more calories a day and didn't work out at all. The other person just had the same diet regularly every day and did just moderate, barely worked out. And the last person had 3% less calories a day, and on that fact did work out a lot. And the change, it seems like very minimal. But the first person was 25 pounds overweight after 3 years, grossly out of shape, grossly unhappy. The middle person, no change at all. And the person just 3% less and working out was fit, was trim, was healthy, was vibrant, happy. That's the narrative, right? That's the narrative. It's like you take a plane that is going from California to New York and change the nose by 2%, and you end up in Washington, D.C. These little changes have huge effect on our lives. And it's not day one that you see it, it's the years that it will add on. And then you have to, if you're there right now where you've had that 2% going in the wrong way, well, the only way you're going to get it back is not a huge swing. It's now changing the course just so slightly.
And I mean, what a great way to round out our conversation. So what is it that you need to course correct in your life right now? So that in 1, 2, 3 years from now, because it's not going to be immediate. I mean, there's some things that you can do immediately now that will change your life immediately now. But things like fitness, like everything that Jason just mentioned, you need to do those small changes, because those big changes, you and I both know, those usually don't last. You tell yourself you're going to work out and then you go run a marathon where you haven't run a marathon before. Chances are you're never going to run again. So how are you going to course correct? How are you going to make those little changes? Let us know what you're thinking. Comment below, or like I said before, text us. Let us know how we can help and how we can help you course correct.
I'll give you one thing. Get rid of the New Year's resolution night, because ultimately, if you just ban that topic from your mind and you start putting little changes in your day, when you get to that point for a New Year's resolution, well, you're already implementing changes, and it's not going to be this big thing where, okay, this year I'm going to lose 30 pounds. No, because you already have a plan in place that's going to be actionable, that you're going to take action, that over the course of next year, you're going to lose a pound every two weeks or whatever, right? So 2 weeks on that point, that would be like 27 pounds if you used 1 pound over that point. That's pretty dynamic, right? That's a lot easier to say I'm going to focus on that 1 pound than it is on I'm going to focus on 27, 30, 40 pounds, right? So if you start putting that in place, but you start putting that in place now, not waiting for something that big for you, but well, that's where the success happens. So
that was amazing. That was our weekend. It was a weekend filled with family, filled with love, filled with amazingness. We had some friends come over and we did some distance play with some really good friends. In the rain, outside.
Make the most of it.
We just made it happen.
Yeah.
So how are you going to make it happen for yourself? Are you going to go play in the rain, or are you just going to sit and smoke?
Yeah.
Go play in the rain.
Hoping it was raining longer, because actually it did rain, and our littlest 1 or 2-year-old wanted to come with me in the store. I was like, oh, we'll see how he likes it. And he was all about it. Didn't say a word. You know,
loved it.
45-minute run in the rain. He was like, yeah, I can do this every day.
You just wanted time with Daddy.
Exactly. All right. We have a fun week of topics coming up. Friday, we'll see where we are here, because we're not going to be here, but maybe we'll be here on some. We'll do something. Who knows? We always put it together. We'll figure it out. Maybe our 2 bulldogs will sub in for us. It will be the best interview yet. So I hope you had the best interview yet. Of course, if you like, go over, hit that like button, share this with someone who can use this. That really helps us get the message out. And
so I'm thinking about Jack and Jill sitting here instead of us.
They'd be super cool.
That would be amazing.
Jack turned 13 yesterday.
Happy birthday, Jack.
Yep. So, man.
13.
Oh. All right. We will see you tomorrow.
Aloha.
Join us for your second cup of coffee every Monday through Friday at noon.
Live every day, bringing us our best content we've done so far. Super excited, super engaging, bunch of great guests. We're here to answer your questions, and we so appreciate you listening. Make sure to check this out.
Can't wait to see you.